You get older and you realize connection don't make a woman stay. Women will actually love some guy just for him being him. Ain't nothing special about him. She just fell in love with him. Maybe they was in high school or middle school or kids, and she just fell for this guy. She can love that guy with all her heart. She can have a real genuine connection with this guy, but that is not going to make her decide to be with him or stick with him. If you all get a chance, go watch this movie called Indecent Proposal. It's starring Woody Harrison, the guy from White Man Can't Jump. And in there, the storyline is basically about this white guy, this white lady. She's an attractive white lady, and he's not rich. She's not rich, but she's like exceptionally attractive, and they crazy about each other. Like they have a real love, a real bond between each other, like deep. His dreams is like to build her this big house and this and that. Decide to go to the casino or something. He brings his woman around some dudes that got like a lot of money, and this billionaire guy sees his woman, and she's in this store looking at a dress, and she couldn't afford the dress, and she knew her boyfriend couldn't afford the dress. Billionaire guy looks at her and like, "Oh, that's a real nice dress," and she's like, "Yeah, I wish I could afford it." And he says a few more slick things, and then after that, in their hotel room, the dress is in their hotel room. This rich man made a proposal to his wife, to this other guy's wife, and she basically decided to go with that man for like $1 million or something. He made a bet with this. He made a bet with this woman and her husband that if he could rent his wife for the night, just for the rest of that night, that if his wife doesn't decide to stay with him, the rich man, after the whole night together, and they don't even have to have sex, that he'll give them both $1 million. But keep in mind, he's a billionaire. What ends up happening is his wife decides to stay with the billionaire guy and just decides to stay with him. Like she stays with him. She goes and gets married to this guy. But she keep in mind she has a connection and a bond with her actual man. Now the way the story ends is that the rich billionaire guy bought her anything she wanted. She lived in a nice house, but he knew that she could never really truly love him. So he basically gave her back to her boyfriend. And I believe he took her back. But that story shows you a woman's connection means nothing. If it's a woman does what's best for her in the sense of financial stability, security, you know. So you'll see dudes thinking that a woman is going to stay by his side because she loves him and they done been through a lot together and they have a lot of memories together, stories together, and things that you can't put a price on. Like a genuine bond. You can't fake a bond. When you get a bond with somebody, that shit you can't fake laughs. You can't fake enjoying your time with somebody. A woman would trade all that in for the night with somebody else. For whatever reason it may be. Or for a rich man, you know. Or a man that she feel like is better on paper than you. Or is more of a sucker than you that's gonna take care of her. You know. But connections, as real as they are, as genuine as they are, as pure as they are, that don't keep no woman. Women don't pick men based off of connections and bonds. A woman picks a man or decides to marry a man or agree to marry a man, whoever the man is that has, the best offer on paper as far as um, financial stability and rich and status and things like that. It was this video that just dropped recently about Aisha Carey, and She basically was stating that she didn't never want to be the person that get married. She never wanted to be the woman who had children. Steph Curry basically, in her own way, talked her into all of that. If you look at from the point of view of what Aisha Curry was saying, Aisha Curry is perfectly okay with being a groupie. She was perfectly okay with it. But Steph Curry, because Steph Curry became who he became, he was able to then have Aisha Curry. He was able to then choose her. If it was just Steph Curry was a regular old guy, she wouldn't gave him the time of the day. But because he became Steph Curry was then able to say, I want that woman to be my wife, and I want to make that woman the mother of my children. She didn't want that life, she says. Now, obviously, it shows how women aren't never satisfied, or how modern women aren't never satisfied. But think about that. She didn't have a genuine connection with Steph Curry. Steph Curry was just the important guy on paper, the best option to choose, and she decided to sit there and feel trapped. Mhm. And another thing about this word modern women. I know we throw this term around so loosely, and it's the equivalent to with black people. At first we were Indians, and then we were Negroes, and then we were uh African Americans, and now we're just black. Like how they keep changing the term, but it's just the same old thing. It's like they keep reinventing the term. That's the same thing they do with modern with this term modern women. It's like they keep wrapping this gift back up to the each generation and reselling it to us. Modern women. Modern women is just female nature. It's always been the same. If you want to look back in the 70s, I'm pretty sure women was doing the same old things that these modern women were doing. It was just in a different time. It was more shame, of course, but they still did the same thing. We take these words and we say, "Oh, modern woman." Look at how this modern woman is treating these men because she's has independence now and she got her own money, so she treats men a certain way. But we don't sit back and understand that the women who were back in the 60s who didn't have as much power, they wish they had the power that they have now. That's what they was fighting for with their feminism. So they still thought the same old way. A woman is a different type of creature. She's not a creature of agreements. She doesn't like things that make sense. She loves chaos. So even in the 70s, back in the day, with our grandmothers and things like that, when they were young, they were still in their own term modern women. They cheated on men. They were more slick about it, you know. So we gotta quit. Well, I mean, obviously it's just a term, it is what it is. But I brought that up to say, man, women have always been women, even in the Egyptian times. Women gonna be women. It's just their nature, you know. But yeah, if you go and watch that movie shows you why a woman's connection means nothing in her mate selection. She don't choose based off of who she's connected to.